got the
Cool.
stream is starting thing though, so
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Shutter and Chill.
boo
Um,
boo boo.
Today we got a special guest, Miss Becky. Welcome,
Becky.
Hi.
welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on finally. I know we've been
Mm.
Very
talking about
happy.
it for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got to Japan, where you're from, things like that.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, right. Talking about myself.
Yep.
Best part. No, I'm joking. Okay, very briefly, I've been in Japan for 11 years.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, quite a long time. I'm originally from Turkey, but I grew up in the UK in London, and I used to live there before I moved to Japan. Um, and I work here at a university. I'm a professor at a university.
Hmm.
Wow.
What do you
Yeah.
teach?
I teach intercultural studies, and also, yeah, I'm doing research in cognitive neuroscience,
Oh, damn.
Oh wow.
Damn.
psychology.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, I have a very interesting background. Like I worked in fashion industry before,
Mm.
before I moved to Japan, and I studied to be a translator. So it's like kind of different things. But yeah, and I do photography for, well, technically for I guess 8 years. Yeah,
Oh,
in
wow.
total. Yeah, on and off.
So
Yeah.
what got you to Japan? Like, why Japan out of all places?
Ooh, why Japan? It's actually not that, kind of I wasn't like kind of, oh, Japanese culture and everything. It wasn't really like that. I have a very kind of um like non-interesting, very kind of, normal story. But basically I was just like I didn't really like my job when I was in London, and I quit my job, and I was like just looking for different things to do. And also, like, I just want to go on an adventure, and I want to go somewhere and just, far away from where I was, and, explore whatever. But I kind of, I was, at the time, I was very much interested in fashion, and
Hmm.
Tokyo was like really kind of big. And it still is, when it comes to fashion, like Harajuku style and everything. So I was like, oh, Japan, and but I didn't really know much about Japanese culture or anything. And I met this person, and then they were like, oh, you could like go live in Japan and teach like for a year or two and just explore Japanese culture and fashion. And so yeah, that's how I got here. Basically, it wasn't really like, and it was supposed to be just for a year or two,
Mm.
and
It's been a
it's
little
been
longer.
11 years.
Hey,
I
Yeah.
was saying, Jesus, you're a whole professor now, so
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about like your fashion side. What kind of fashion? What have you always been into fashion or?
I was, yeah. I mean, yeah. So after when I kind of, so my BA is in translation interpretation. I worked as an interpreter
Hmm.
for 2 years. And then I was like, I don't really want to do this because I wanted to do something more creative.
Hmm.
Um, and I've always been interested in fashion, but I really didn't I didn't study fashion or anything. I was just like personally interested in it. And then I did masters in media and communication
Hmm.
to get more into like something creative. And after I finished my master's, I got this job at this like e-commerce company in London. And our clients were all like kind of local fashion brands and all that. And I get to like go to fashion shows, and just at the time it was like social media was like just starting to like become like a big thing. And I used to just write. So I was like a copywriter,
Hmm.
uh, just go to events, fashion events, runway shows, whatever, and then just write about it like a journalist in
Oh,
a
really?
way. Yeah, so that was like my kind of time in fashion. I did that for like 2 years. And but I stopped doing it when I moved to Japan. I was still interested, but and then I kind of it switched to more into like art
Mm.
than fashion. Yeah.
What kind of art?
But yeah, because so the thing about the type of fashion that I was interested in was like more like designers like Rei Kawakubo, like Japanese designers like Comme des Garçons. And
Mm.
so they were like, because if you look at their kind of style, they're more like kind of like Yoji Yamamoto and Rei Kawakubo. They're more like kind of, very artistic, kind of, they have like an artistic style for their
Mm-hmm.
design. So I was like very much interested in like, oh, fashion can be art as well because it's like a way of expressing yourself and it's not just about looking pretty, looking good or whatever. Like Yoji Yamamoto, for example, he's known for his like he just does black. Everything's just black.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about style or whatever. It's actually about more than that. Like it's about expressing yourself and designing beautiful things. And I remember I was like very much also interested in this like Danish designer called Henrik Vipskov. And when I went to Korea, like my first year in Japan, and he happened to have like this like really nice exhibition in Korea in Seoul. And I went there and this whole like gallery was like it's almost like he turned it into like an art installation, but it was a fashion show
Mm.
with a lot of like, it was almost like an art and fashion combined together, and it was like so impressive. And from that day on, I was like, no, okay, fashion is amazing, but like I need to do this artistic thing, because the
Mm.
art part was like just amazing. So I kind of like switched a little bit more into art than fashion.
Art,
Yeah.
fashion, and then now
And
photography.
then now photography, yeah.
Photography, yeah.
So do you think that was your segue into getting into photography, or?
Cause like when I guess art is everything is art basically if you think about it, but you gotta find your own medium, right? Like you gotta find if you even like obviously fashion is art, or writing or you know we can just consider a lot of things as art because the way we express ourselves, right? It's for me that's what art is, but you can just do it in different mediums, different ways. So I was like at the time I was like, okay, I've kind of tried this fashion thing, but then I'm not a designer, which I would like to be, but I don't think I can, I have the talent for that. So I was like, okay, I need to find my medium now. Like I need to find something that can help me express all these things that are happening inside me, the
Hmm.
feelings and emotions and all that. So that's, I guess, so I didn't like kind of start photography or decide to like, okay, my medium is photography then, because I think I kind of rediscovered photography because I did a project when I was in college,
Hmm.
and that was my first kind of introduction to photography.
Hmm.
But for a long time, I didn't like really think about it, or I really didn't like continue doing it. But then when I moved here, I was like, okay, I think I can give this photography another shot, and that's how that turned into. Yeah,
Spain's a place for that. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
right, yeah.
Mm. What kind of camera do you have?
I have a Fujifilm X-T30. I love.
Ooh.
I've been had an XT10 before. I've started off with an XT10
Uh-huh.
and then 20 and now I have 30. I'm not even like I should. I don't know.
Oh,
I've never really tried different cameras. I'm obsessed with Fuji.
Mm.
I love it.
Fuji, yeah, she is. Yeah, you are the Bentley out of the group,
Right.
actually.
Yeah, you can definitely.
Everybody has like a Sony or a
Canon.
Canon, whatever. Yeah, Fuji's or
Hmm.
Bentleys. I think what the Hasselbuff or
Ah,
whatever
we,
it's
we
called is like the Rolls
Lindsay, yeah.
Royce.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
We were just
Right.
talking about that today, actually. Those cameras.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are. But yeah,
Expensive.
Fujifilm. I think that's the next one. If I when I get a new camera, I'm definitely getting a Fujifilm.
Are you
Really?
Yeah,
guys both like, are you Sony or
I'm
I'm
Sony. He's
I'm Canon.
he's Canon.
Yeah,
you're Canon?
yeah,
Okay,
And
yeah.
yeah. Canon loyalty. You know,
Canon
I
loyalty. Yeah,
don't,
that's the
I don't
thing.
have
Like
the.
when you find your thing, you're like so loyal to it. I'm like
Yeah,
super loyal to my Fuji. I'm like, I don't wanna,
I,
you
I
know,
I think
hurt you.
it's not even just loyal. I think it's almost kind of like a scary thing to switch to a whole nother.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you're comfortable. You can just pull out your camera you're used to, and everything's pretty much the same. Obviously, from camera to camera, that's in the same
yeah,
brand. Um,
yeah.
but switching to
yeah,
a
it's just
whole
thing
nother.
you have to get from like the toy Canons to an actual camera, and then
Hey, don't talk about my Canon like that.
Yeah.
Canon treats me very well.
yeah. But yeah. So like speaking about cameras and stuff like that, since
Mhm.
you started started since you started taking pictures, like what would you say that is your like style per se?
I think, yeah, I thought about it for a long time because like I've when I was when people ask me like, "Oh, so you're what kind of like pictures do you take or what do you, how would you kind of define or describe your style or whatever?" I always thought about like, I don't know, I just do like weird things. That was like my go-to answer. And then I realized like I think it's conceptual photography.
Mm.
Cause yeah, cause like for me, it's I come up with the concept first. Like I have to go through like, okay, I have this idea. Like, it's not just about like when I come up with these ideas, it's not just like, oh, I wanna, shoot this person. Sometimes it happens actually. Like I see someone and I'm like, oh my God, I have to shoot this person.
Hmm.
Like it goes with that. But most of the time, like 90% of the time, I have this like idea that I probably feel like, okay, this just came out and I was inspired. I watched this movie and I saw the scene. Okay, there you go. I'm
Gotcha.
inspired by it and I have this idea, and then I think about it for a little bit. And it's not like, sit down and just kind of plan. It's never like that. It's like a little bit of it's almost like this little spark and then it just grows into this big concept that I feel like, oh my God, this is amazing and I have to do this
Mm.
with, let's say, this person. And most of the time that's how it happens. And I do, and obviously like it's like because I read a lot and I watch a lot. I'm a huge like movie buff, I guess if you say that. Like I
Hmm.
watch a lot of movies. I read a lot, so I always and I have like a very specific say. I like thriller, I like psychological thriller, horror, and also like surreal stuff.
Mm.
So um yeah, like and I think the for me the best part about my work or my photography is just coming up with these ideas and actually trying to you know put that into something concrete and then see the result.
Mm.
That's like my kind of process, I guess, the process that I enjoy.
Do you like shooting in almost like a studio kind of scene, or do you enjoy being outside with it?
Yeah, I don't like artificial. I mean, I really don't like artificial light. For me, it's a big because I'm not a very techie person. Like I'm like completely opposite of like Alan or Lindsay because they're very like, they know a lot about cameras and gear and lighting, and I'm like completely I don't know any of these things. So I mean I do have like lights and stuff, but I have worked at studios before, even our group shoots and everything, but I really like natural light.
Mm.
So I know it's because you can't technically control it,
Hmm.
obviously, because it's natural, right? Light, and you have to find the right time, and you have to wait for the weather to be great. You have to, find the right location, whatever. But I feel like the shots or like, I mean, it's just you can't even compare it.
Yeah.
Even if you have like the most expensive, studio environment, whatever, that beautiful natural light, if you can get, in a perfect timing, in a perfect location, in a perfect whatever, it's just so beautiful. So ideally, that's what I like. But
Hmm.
obviously, this is so rare, and you gotta,
Yeah.
be all prepared for everything. So yeah.
Right.
It definitely makes the like it makes things more challenging too. It adds a challenging
Mm,
aspect to it.
right.
Because like you said, there's no. It's really hard to get
Yeah.
perfect natural lighting. It's almost rare,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you almost have to manipulate your shots in a way to get what you're trying to create. Um,
Hmm.
Mm.
and yeah, it definitely gives it a unique look, and it's definitely a challenge on top of everything. I think.
Yeah. But
Um,
I've done it. Like I was lucky. I remember two shoots that I did in the past that were I I was lucky, and I had like this perfect lighting, and it was one of them. It was actually at my place.
really,
The model was at my place, and I have like this big balcony, and the light was just so perfect, and nobody believed. Everybody thought that shot was a studio shot
really.
after the slight editing. But yeah, it was beautiful. So if you, I don't know, it's just so beautiful. But obviously, yeah, it's not ideal.
No,
To be honest.
but it's fun. I think you get really cool shots doing it. Especially if
Right.
you manipulate with the shadows too.
The
You
shadows, yes, that's
it's,
that's very important. You
yeah,
gotta have that. Yeah.
shadows and good lighting. It
Yeah.
creates an amazing picture. Um,
Yeah. Very
Sweetheart,
true.
sweetheart, sweetheart,
so
sweetheart,
do you,
sweetheart. You're very loud. Okay, thank you.
um,
Yeah.
so how do you like stay creative when it comes to doing these things? How do you feel like you stay creative?
Stay creative. Stay creative. Hmm. There's like moments in my life where I don't do any work,
Hmm.
like at all. Like I even spent like a year or 2 years not doing anything. And then I always like look back and I ask myself like why, you know?
Hmm.
It's it's kind of funny. I think it's very personal, but I realize that when I'm truly happy, like when things go like everything, I mean, everybody has ups and downs and whatever, but when things go well in my life, I feel like I'm not really creative.
Hmm.
I can't find that creative spark when everything is just okay, you know?
Hmm.
And then and I have no idea why. I mean, that's just how it is with me. So I think I get my creativity um with like things are, of course, like I said, I get inspired by things that I'm exposed to, like books and movies and stuff, but I also am like I need to experience things like personal experiences,
Hmm.
and I combine the two.
Hmm.
So things need to happen in my life so
Hmm.
that I can be creative. And most of the time, I feel like the negative emotions or feelings that are coming from negative or kind of, you know, I guess sad experiences, those are the ones that make me more kind of creative.
Hmm.
Is because I feel like my work is like I kind of like I put myself into my work, and I also like it's kind of like a therapy for me. I channel all that negativity into my work,
Hmm.
and
That makes a lot of
to kind
sense.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, to kind of, because I'm like, oh, I have all these feelings, and then, we're all humans, and we all want to get rid of those like sad feelings right away, right? We're just like, oh, I don't want to be sad anymore, and I need to be happy and whatever.
Hmm.
But I realized like there's no escape. Like we're all gonna eventually like there are moments in our lives where we're gonna have negative feelings or negative experiences, but I feel like it's very important to just channel them into something um
Positive.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it actually becomes beautiful when
Yeah.
I look back.
I think it
Yeah.
also brings more meaning and almost
Yeah,
a more
absolutely.
uniqueness to your work. You know,
Yeah.
because you're taking what you feel and you're showcasing that to people rather than just
Yeah.
like a standard portrait shot or things along those lines.
Absolutely.
It gives that, it's almost like you're using the photos to still like tell your story in a way.
Yeah.
I think that's very
Yeah.
unique. Um,
Yeah.
and
It is.
I definitely wondered. I guess a lot of people could be doing things like that too. Because I've always wondered how people take like these super creative photos, but it's almost like the pictures tell a thousand emotions.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I always admired that. Um, Personally, I don't know how to do that yet, but I think it's
It's a yeah, it's like I don't think it's something that can be learned. It's like it's something that comes out of you. I don't know like when I start doing that or how or but I if you feel like I guess it's you gotta like find your because it's like an inner struggle as well. Like most people don't really want to like go really deep within themselves like because you need to find that kind of oh this is how I feel and I gotta like face my inner demons and all that kind of and then you gotta make peace with that and after that I think it's easier to portray that into your work
mm,
because you can't really portray that or you can't really like you know, if you're not true to yourself or if you don't know how you feel or if you can't really reflect on your personal experiences and whatever, I don't think you can portray that into your work. And I
it's true.
think that's like something that a lot of people um either they, figure that out like at some point or maybe they don't. But yeah, so that's very personal, I think. Yeah.
It's almost like I guess you really have to sit back and accept things for what they are, and
Yes.
really take everything that comes with it, and once you are able to do that, then you can portray it. You know what I mean? It's like talking about
Mm-hmm.
something and you won't accept it yourself or things like that. If you can't accept everything and really understand and look at what's going on, then I don't think you can really put it out um,
Yeah.
into that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think you.
Definitely.
Hmm.
I really like your work, and you definitely, when it comes to your work, and I'll put your work up in a minute for whoever's watching to see.
She
But
said.
you definitely portray emotion in your work, and I like that a lot. About your photos is it's like I said, it's almost like a picture tells a thousand words, and you're very good at showcasing that. Um, I pull up.
Yeah, I like how your pictures like make you think. It makes you have to think about it. Like if you're just trying to
Yeah.
scan through pictures, you're just not gonna get it. But if it's like if you just stop and look for a second,
Right.
it's like,
Mm.
oh, I see what she was gonna do in here. Or
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually one of the reasons I prefer having exhibitions. Like I have an exhibition coming out like next week. Well,
Yes.
not this week, the week after that. Yeah. So like I want and I this is like probably gonna be my eighth or ninth exhibition
Really.
so far. But yeah, but I like doing that because I feel like when you print your work and you hang it on a wall people actually and you yourself as well as the artist you really like stop and look which we don't really do on Instagram or on
Yeah.
social media
You can't just
everything
scroll
is
past it.
scroll past you don't people don't really stop and look you don't like it's literally like a second less than a second most of the time and you don't really appreciate and it's really sad you don't really appreciate the model you don't really appreciate the artist you don't really appreciate a lot of things and like all the emotions or whatever that the artist and the model and maybe like the whole crew start really work really hard to put over there in that one little image so it's but when it's printed and it's there it's just people actually appreciate it more and that stop and look and just kind of oh okay I can relate to that or I can feel something because you gotta do that like our brains are basically not capable of like absorbing or like interpreting everything that's going on in an image or anything
Mm-hmm.
within less than a second
Mm.
and
right.
that's what social media does which is really bad so yeah
Yeah, you actually led me into one of my topics.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, no,
Yeah.
you. It's completely fine. Because I'm very curious on the whole exhibit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious on one. How did you even start this, right? And what the process even looks like for someone that might want to do an exhibit.
Right. So my first one was I was invited. So I know, yeah, being an academic, I guess. I know a couple of professors here in Nagoya, and there was this Japanese guy that I met years ago, and he works at Nagoya University. He's actually an admin. He's not an academic himself, but he told me about this new building that they had, and it was like a science kind of building. I think it was the chemistry lab or something. But they said so they have this like new building. It's beautiful, and the entrance is like completely white, like white walls and like white floors. And they said, it would be so beautiful if we can use this whole space as an art gallery.
Hmm.
And they had this idea, and then they asked the university if they could do that, if they could just like get some artists to display their work. And the university said, yeah, sure, like let's do it, and we can combine science and art, which would be really great. And they invited me to do a little exhibit, and I would like, okay, I'll definitely do it. So that was my first one, and I was like, it was completely free. I didn't. They said, oh, there's no like, you don't have to make it scientific just because it's a science building.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is fine. But that was the first time I made a collection just for the exhibit, just for the gallery. And so it's really, yeah, that was like my kind of introduction to it. That was my first exhibit, and it was really great. It was like completely like, it made me feel like, okay, this is something that I should really keep doing. It motivated me to kind of turn this kind of little hobby into something real,
Hmm.
because it it's like, yeah, like I said, the whole like kind of reality of it when you see your work up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so people appreciate it more, and you get a lot of beautiful feedback and reviews and critiques and all that, and it's beautiful. And yeah, but so this, obviously, the one that I'm doing right now is I'm curating one,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a completely different experience than doing something like I did in the past. But it's yeah, like curating it is more of a, you have the whole, you're responsible for everything, coming up with a theme, and getting the artists, the right type of artists together, so that you can have like this a bit more cohesive, or if you're doing solo, obviously that would be a little less challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, yeah, so you get multiple artists, finding the right artists, finding the right theme, finding the right gallery, and getting it all the work up there in a like in the right visual flow or a story flow,
Mm-hmm.
and getting all the merch out. So so I'm all dealing with all that now for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard work. It's really not easy, but it's gonna be very rewarding, I think.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go.
Yeah,
Uh,
same
You're gonna be
I'm.
actually.
there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We moved things around to make sure that I was there.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be there. For those that are in the
Hmm.
Osaka area, starts this week, right? Or next week?
No,
Next
it's
week?
next
Next
week.
week? Next
Next week,
Tuesday?
yeah.
On the second, yeah.
Yeah, on the second through. When's the last day? That's
Seven.
Sunday, right?
Yeah. No, Monday technically, but yeah.
So the second through
Seven.
the seventh.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in the Osaka area, please stop by. At the end, we'll put all the information out. That way you
Yeah.
guys can have access if you would like to
Yeah.
go. But yeah, I'm super excited. Uh, I think what we're gonna do, a photo walk, and then just
We'll do a
bring
photo walk.
everyone to the.
Yeah, bring everybody to
Yeah, start
Yeah.
the
somewhere, bring everyone to the gallery.
What kind of merch are you having?
I think we're gonna have little like kind of postcards and
Mm.
kind of print A4 prints of the work and maybe our kind of work and our regular work, not just the photos that we're gonna display at the exhibition, because we're doing all of us, all three of the artists, we're
Mm-hmm.
doing um new work for this exhibition. You're gonna see everything new. You haven't the things that you haven't seen before, basically.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
We're
excited.
not because yeah, that's the thing. Like so the one that I did before, it was with Joshua and Sophia and
Mm.
I, and it called Aurora because we did like a studio shoot, and after the studio shoot, I was like, we spent a lot of time organizing the studio shoot, and also we got a lot of models, we got videographers, we got these, photographers, and it was just one day, just how we do it, with our studio shoots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like it wasn't enough. Like the I really like I was really hyped for that event, but that one day was like, no, this is not enough,
Mm.
and we all have like really beautiful photos, and I realized, okay, we need to continue this project and we need to do something more.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this gallery in Nagoya. That was back in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
um, I found this gallery in Nagoya, and then I talked to Joshua and Sophia, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we had kind of continuing into the studio shoot into um, the exhibition part, basically, and that was also for 1 week, and
Wow.
it was beautiful. We had like a party at the end of the week,
Mm-hmm.
and it was beautiful. So I this is kind of like similar, but it's a bit more. Um, I guess much more work because
Mm.
it's gonna be in Osaka. It's a new, different city.
Okay.
Um, and this gallery is like really central. Like it's in Namba, I think. Yeah, so
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
more of a we're trying to get. My goal is gonna be like, of course, I really want to get people that I know, but I also want to get people that, oh, you on the street, come and have a look
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I think that's one of the big goals when it comes to things like this is getting those people and getting because you never know. You know, all it takes
Right,
is some random
absolutely.
person to walk in, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, like
right.
you're blowing up from it. So, but I'm super excited. When it comes down, so how does this all work, right? So you have your concept, you do all that, uh, and then where like how do you just get your prints out and get them to somewhere to hang? How does that whole process work from
Oh,
actually doing
okay.
prints?
So there's the whole thing was like I knew this, like I had this like, okay, I mean I kind of, yeah, like I said, I've done this before,
Mm-hmm.
but um I wanted to do something a little bit more kind of, I guess, more professional, I would say, like a little bit more kind of, okay, this is more serious,
Mm-hmm.
let's just say more serious. So I think the initial thing is to come up with a theme. Like what kind of what do you like, what kind of concept are you going for? And because you need to find the right artists within that concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all do different work, and it's everything. Everybody's work is beautiful, but we can't just like combine like all that together when we want to have an exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
So coming up with the theme was the first step, I would say. And then getting the right type of artists or gathering the right type of artists is the second step. And finding a gallery and just start shooting, and that's what we did. So I told them, I shared the theme, and they were like, okay, this is good. I have an idea, I have a concept, and we didn't have much time because we wanted to find a time where we can all like take some time off work because the exhibit is like a week long,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has to be at the gallery. Like
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't, I mean, you don't have to because the gallery owner or someone would be there, but I actually prefer when I'm there,
Yeah.
when my work is up, because people really want to like, they come and they look at it, but they really want some sort of like an interaction with the artist
Yeah. You
about
Right.
their.
They have
you really
questions
you
too.
really
Yeah,
give them
yeah,
something
yeah.
when you're there too. Yeah.
Right,
Right.
right. So we only had like a month and a half, I think. And we really kind of, okay, we need to do this, and we did our um kind of work, or all the, photo shoots, like within 3 weeks. And
Oh.
just yesterday, I went to the print lab. So there's a print lab in Nagoya that I've been going to like for the last, I don't, maybe 8 years or so. It's
Mm-hmm.
a really, really professional place. And you basically tell them, okay, I have like all these photos. And so this is the part where you need to be, all the artists that are gonna display the work, you have to like have some sort of like a understanding of like, okay, so are we gonna do frame or no frame? Are we gonna do, what type of what size, what kind of, because we do, even though we all have different work, we still need to get some sort of like, a cohesive kind of, okay, this is, I want people to just look at it and just not see something messy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we decide that, okay, no frame. We can mount our work on like maybe like wood, like on a canvas, or most of the time I do like a canvas, or I do like a foam mount. Like they have like this foam things,
Mm-hmm.
like a,
Mm.
yeah. So you can, there's a lot of options, but so we have to decide on that. And you have to also figure out, you have to be in contact with the gallery because you have a lot of questions like, can we put nails on the walls, or is it just going to be hanging? So all these like little things. And then yeah, so after you get your prints back, which most of the time it like takes like a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you just, of course, in the meantime, we decide like, okay, who's going to take which wall, how is the visual flow is going to be, because you have to think about the people that are going to visit, what are get, because you have to think about from their point of view, what are they going to see? And you have to think about what, they're going to go in through the door, and then they're going to go from left to right or right to left, and which work they're going to see the first, and then what's going to happen, and then all these things, like, and then you, most of the time when you go to a museum, you see everything, and then you exit through the gift shop, right? So you have to
Mm-hmm.
think about all that too. You go from there, and
True.
then, okay, so the last thing they're going to see is probably like, oh, and these are the merch, and these are all our work, and the postcards and whatever, t-shirts, tote bags, anything that you can do.
Wow. So
uh
you plan the route in
yeah,
the.
yeah,
I mean,
you
it
have to
makes
think of,
sense because you gotta think, you like you said, Becky, is you go to a anywhere. Honestly, you go anywhere, aquarium. You go
yeah,
to, everything leads to that. At the end, you're going to the gift shop, no matter where
yeah,
you're at. You know what I
yeah,
mean? No matter, like, even if you're at Universal or something and you go on a roller coaster, you're exiting through the gift
yeah,
shop.
yeah. That was actually, have you guys seen, maybe it's kind of old now. Do you guys know Banksy, right? The street artist?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He had a documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop,
Really?
and that was like my thing. I When I watched it, because I used to live in the UK, and when I watched it, I was like, oh damn, he's so right.
Yeah.
It was one of these things of like, this is capitalism, but at the same time, like that's literally how everything works in life.
Right.
It's
Right.
really
It's like a
yeah,
Right.
psychological thing too. Like, I didn't realize it until we started talking about it. Literally everywhere you go, you walk through the gift shop and you don't even think about it. You know,
yeah,
sometimes you
and
buy stuff, sometimes you don't, but you usually do stop to look at it at least.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
hmm.
yeah, a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, a lot of different perspectives, because you're the artist. You have to think about the artist. You are the artist, and we also have to think about people that are going to be there,
Mm.
who have no, and you have to literally like think that they have no idea about art or photography or anything. That's what you need. That should be your base. You can't just pretend that, oh yeah, everybody's great. But that's like for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to think about like, okay, these people have no idea what photography is or art, and it's not really thinking that, I'm not trying to mean that they're going to be idiots or whatever,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
just that should be your base, and it should be as easy, and then so that when people come in and everything is like ready for them, and they just have a beautiful experience. That should be the goal. So yeah.
And I think the fact that if one of you guys are always there, that really gives them experience too.
Mm, for sure, yeah, for sure.
Because now they can, like, you have someone working at something, one of these, they can only answer so much. But if you're talking straight to the source, it's a whole
You
different
always want to talk
story.
to the artist. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's super cool that you're
Can
able
you,
to
can
do
you
something like
imagine,
that.
like, this is Starry Night, right? This is
Yes,
Van
very
Gogh's
nice.
Starry
Yeah.
Night. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if you actually had the chance to talk to Van Gogh about this process?
Exactly.
Like,
It would be a lot different than me
Yeah.
talking to
Right.
Fox
like,
about it.
but that's what I mean. Like, it's yeah, it's like it's a completely different thing if you have that chance. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited. I've never been to like something like this, so I'm super
Yeah.
excited to be a part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy. And yeah, please give me tell me about, like, give me feedback after you visit, and yeah,
Yeah,
and if
I'm
you, yeah,
excited.
let me know if you want to do something like that too, because it's completely different from I don't know, it's yeah, it's different. It's just
Becky,
different.
I don't
Don't,
know
I'm
if
gonna
you
say, don't
haven't
tell him that.
noticed.
Don't
I
tell
don't
him
know
that.
if you
Don't tell him
haven't noticed.
that.
I take
Don't tell him
every opportunity given to me.
Right.
I will
Don't tell
love
him
to
that.
do that with you. Where do I
Oh
sign?
no.
I am there.
Oh no. Oh no.
As soon as you said that, I saw Fox's face. He said, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
here we go
stop.
again. Here we go again." We could sell at the end at the gift shop. I'll put the sexy Fox pics there.
Exactly.
And sell sexy Fox pics. So guys, be on look when me and Becky. If you're interested in some sexy Fox pics,
Hey, if
they'll
you
be in
guys
the
are
gift shop.
interested,
Shit, I'll send them to you,
exit to
Becky.
the gift
We could put it. We could put it. If you want to display some sexy Fox pics, those might make you a lot of money.
whatever. I'm sending you pictures of Cruz's feet. Just feet pics.
Pete pics is crazy. Yeah, but I would definitely interested. Just let me know. Just let me know what you need from me. I'll be there. Ha!
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Now I'm really excited because then
Oh
I get to see
no.
it.
Oh no.
Oh yes,
Oh
yes,
no. Oh no.
yeah.
It's yeah, it's I mean, yeah, it's doable, but yeah, I mean, aim high, but still, you gotta, yeah, there's it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So
Yeah.
how like what was your how long have you been like you said you were prepping for this like what a month you said?
A month and a half, yeah, basically. But I had the idea before. I mean, I've always, like, cause you guys, did you? I mean, I don't know if you guys know about this, but like I'm also a performance artist. I used to do performance art shows
No, but
here.
you can tell
I
us about
saw one
that.
of your.
You can
I
tell
would
us
say no.
about
I
that.
did see. I do want. I did want to ask you about when you, one of your pictures. What were you? You were a paintbrush.
What?
Yes, yes, that was one of my shows.
I
Yeah,
see. Okay. Okay.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Whoa. What's going on with this thing?
My camera's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
tweaking.
Yeah. So like, what was like? Yeah. Let's go into that. Like, what? Like, how did you
Hmm.
even? Like, how did that even come about? Like.
Right. Yeah. So, uh, okay. So the whole thing was for me, like when I do photo shoots, right? When we do photo shoot, it's you have maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours tops, like with one model, and you have this like kind of short experience. That's, generally that's how it is, right? So I really enjoyed that experience, and when I was especially going through a tough time, I was like, oh, I need to do this because it's kind of like therapy for me. But it wasn't enough. Like, it wasn't challenging enough, it wasn't long enough, it wasn't doing the thing. So, and at the time I was reading, so I really like certain artists, and we can actually talk about that at the end of this, because I want to tell people about, like, my favorite artists, so that maybe
Mm.
they can go and look at their work and get inspired like I did. But one of my favorite artists is this Serbian woman, Marina Abramovic, and she is a performance artist. she's actually quite famous. You've probably seen her like reels and stuff, but she's been doing performance art since like the 70s and very like extreme things. But I remember reading a book about it, and one of her shows was this. She did this in Italy in a museum, and she basically put like bunch of materials for people, but it was like, from random stuff like, pens and papers and feathers and whatever to like knives and guns and all those things.
It,
And then she was like, okay, I'm just gonna stand here without like doing anything, basically as an object, and ask people to like, okay, you can choose whatever you want to take from the table, and then you can just do whatever you want to me, basically. And then people start off as, oh, they would just like tickle her or like draw things on her face, whatever. But this goes on and on and on for hours. And then people like kind of wait for a reaction from her. And she's not doing it because that's the whole point. And then they start, pushing the boundaries a little, and then they take the knife and it's gonna start cutting her body a little bit. And these are normal random people, by the way, people that are going to the galleries and museums.
sharp
And then,
knife.
Yeah, like
yeah,
it was a
knife,
real knife.
yeah, like an actual real knife. And then after 8 hours or so, maybe one guy comes in, grabs the gun, and puts it on her, head, and he says, "You have to react, or I'm going to shoot you right now in front of everybody." And she's still no reaction whatsoever. And then the gallery owners, they're like, "What are we going to do? Because we can't interrupt the
Right.
performance. Because that's a performance." But eventually they stop the guy. He doesn't do anything. But they have to end. She has to end the performance.
Mm.
So when I read about this, I was like, whoa, goosebumps,
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
but also she's extreme. She's completely. I mean, you have to. Yeah, she's done like hundreds of performances like that. She's crazy. But for me, I was like thinking about, oh, what was she thinking? Like how did she feel, and what was her thought process? I was like really really interested in that, and I'm like, I want to do something like this because I want to feel that rush, or I want to feel that kind of challenge, or I just wanted to feel alive, because at the time I was going through like a bad breakup and things were not going well. So, and I was like, okay, I'm inspired by this, but I have to do my own thing, and I know that I'm not crazy. I'm not extreme. So I did this. I told my friends, and they were like, "Okay, we'll help you." And we found a place. And basically, the idea was I had this empty canvas behind me, and I didn't tell anyone. I just invited people to an event, and I wrote some instructions for people to read. And they walked in. There were like some seats and like a tiny stage, and people start reading the instructions, and basically the instructions told them to, okay, so the artist is going through whatever, and she is now an object for the next hour and a half, and I was just an object. And there are some paints and some brushes and materials, whatever, but please use the artist as the brush and then paint on the canvas. And basically you are the artist now. She's just an object, and you are responsible for whatever the picture is going to come out on the canvas, right? So this is, you have a chance to express yourself as an artist, whatever, but the artist is going to experience something completely different. And so yeah, I try to explain that to people. But also it wasn't like, I also told them like, nobody has to participate. Like it's not, it's voluntary. If you don't want to participate, that's fine, you know. And most people did. They came out, they started, and it was really interesting. It was very similar to Marina Abramovic's experience, because at first people start to like do some hand paints and hand
Right,
prints,
right.
whatever. And then they started to touch my boobs and then kind of paint on my boobs, and then put my, because I was not there. I was physically there, but I was not there. And by the end of the performance, I remember there was this one guy. He really again wanted. I think he wanted me to kind of say something or react in a way. So he grabbed my uh, leg, and then he just put some he threw some paint on it, and he was just like kind of trying to, but very aggressively, like trying to put my leg in a different way. And then he just like it was really like disturbing. And
Mm.
after that I was like kind of, okay, I have to stop now. So after he left, which I guess he um I don't know, maybe he won. But after he left, I was like, okay, I'm finishing the performance. And I left the stage. And so that was the first thing that I did. It was extremely challenging because, normally you have personal space with people. You don't tell people, you don't let people to touch your body, or, it was very challenging in that sense. And I also start to see how people kind of changed, even within an hour and a half. And it was, but it was completely like, a personal thing, and I felt very alive for the first time because there was
Yeah.
like this danger element, but also I had this the show called it was called Dual, so it was like this dual experience of like body and soul. Because I really wanted to do this, like, oh, my body is there, but my soul is not there, because I was just kind of like meditating and away from, because you can't really, when you feel like you're violated, right, you just have to leave your body basically. So I kind of like did that, and it really helped, though. It was really really a very interesting experience. But the idea was like why I did it and why I did all the other shows that I did, it was because I think I, again, a little like a more extreme step of like me trying to channel my emotions and feelings into my art. And
Mm.
when you do something live like that with people involved, it's a whole other thing. Yeah.
That's a different
Yeah.
level of
Yeah.
vulnerability. Like that's
Yeah.
a different level.
Mhm.
Like holy shit. Yeah, all it took for me, I thought it would be a lot more rough than that. I didn't know that like you just
Mhm.
giving your body up. For
Mhm.
the pictures that I saw, like I saw that somebody was just like, what was it? One of the guys was using your face
Oh
or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Like I had some, yeah.
right. And then, but
Hmm.
to like just your entire, I didn't realize it was your entire
I
body.
was wearing like a bra and like a little tiny, whatever, yeah, shorts. And that
Hmm.
was it, because I didn't want to have clothes, but I also didn't want to be completely naked, because I also know that people would get more aggressive if you're
Right,
naked. That's
right.
also another thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's almost like a social experiment in a sense, but from their point of view. But I was experiencing completely different things. Like I didn't do it for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But after the show, people came up to me and they were like, "Oh, this is, well, number one, they actually felt great, because after the initial thing, they really start to create this, they care about what they painted on the canvas, because they wanted to actually feel like, yeah, I can do some art here, because,
Mm.
but at the same time, they were like, okay, but why do we have to do this through her? Like, why do we have to use her?
Mm.
So there, it was kind of like interesting to see people's
Mm.
reaction. But I completely did it for my own personal reasons, and my experience going through that was completely different from what people were experiencing. And that was also another point of view. But for me, it was definitely not like a social experiment, but you could also look at it from that angle as well, right? Yeah.
Mm.
That's actually really interesting.
That's deep. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty deep.
super interesting. I know. Damn.
So
Yeah.
what is like something that you like? What do you feel that you got out of that though?
um I felt stronger, I
Mm.
think, because at the time let I what I was going through was like I let people kind of in my life that I was not supposed to let, or I was kind of like, kind of like a people pleaser, and I just felt like not having control over um certain, relationships that I had in the past. And it's like, even in this situation, like, you are completely, it's almost like a reverse thing, like you're completely on a very exaggerated level, like on the stage you are doing what people did to you in the past, in my
Mm,
mind. But then it's like a boiling point, and after that you're just like, you feel clear after that. You're like, okay, I've experienced the worst and it can't get worse than this, in a way, right?
right,
And
right.
it is much better because it's a simulated environment, and I know that I'm safe, and I know that whatever. So I wanted to kind of feel that. I want to challenge myself. The other two that I did, was, they were also very strong like that. One of them called grief, the other one called existence.
Mm-hmm.
They were also like kind of related to this, all coming from my personal experiences, that I was like feeling so vulnerable, or so, very kind of in a very negative way, or sometimes even depressed. And I just wanted to simulate those kind of feelings on stage
Mm,
so that I can get rid of them.
mm,
And it's more, yeah, like I said, even my photography and my performance art, I really, it's very personal,
mm,
and it's very I kind of like do it mostly for myself, to be honest with you. Like, I do it for myself. It's I when I put something out there, it's really like a part of me, but it's also a part of me in a way that, like, maybe I want that part of me to disappear, or maybe I want that part of me to be more important in my life, like to kind of highlight it or whatever.
mm.
So, but it's always like a part of me. And um yeah, so I think that's what I did.
It's actually like really kind of inspiring in a way because it's
Yeah.
like it feels like a, I guess what's the best way to say it? It's like a fiery cleanse in a way. Like
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
just get
Right.
it, like, yeah, you just put yourself all the way in
All
it,
the way.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
then yeah,
Mhm.
and then that way it's like you come out of it like, just almost like purified in a way, like you can
Yeah.
just
That's
like
that's pretty, yeah, that's a better way to explain. Yeah, that's pretty
mm,
much how
mm,
I,
mm, mm.
well, that was my intention, yeah. But
That's
yeah, it's
intense.
really strange because you're, I mean, stage, right?
Mm,
Stage is, it's one of the most, you're vulnerable because you're alone
Mm-hmm.
on stage.
mm,
And there's, I mean, depending on where you are or whatever, but there's like a lot of people looking at you,
right.
concentrated on you, and waiting for you to perform, to sing, to whatever. So it's like, it's a very vulnerable place, right?
Mm,
So, but it's also a safe place because most of the time when you're on stage, you've done thousands of rehearsals, you've done whatever, like it's a vulnerable situation, but you're prepared for that.
Mm.
But life is not really like that.
Mm-mm.
right.
When none of us are prepared for what's going to come next,
Right.
in our
Yeah.
lives. And when I realize that, okay, I'm in this situation, or I'm in this whatever, and I am super vulnerable right now, but I didn't get to rehearse this. I didn't get to learn about it. I didn't get to, like, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're like, oh, this is so bad. And that's why I feel like we have all these negative emotions after experiencing something bad, because we don't know what to do most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And just we try to do our best. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, so I try to do that, but I also try to heal from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my way of doing it, I guess. That was my way of, yeah,
Do you?
Wow,
eliminating.
It,
that's extremely powerful.
it really
That's
is. Yeah.
extremely powerful.
Yeah. Super powerful,
Holy
actually.
crap, man.
When you do things like this, do you find a lot of people relate?
Mm.
The thing is, like, I think I don't get to explain this deeply to people, like, because you need to talk, you need to sit down and talk,
Yeah.
right? If I get a chance to do that, like, and I actually really want to relate or kind of even have these type of talks with more people because
Mm-hmm.
I do want to, because this is just my experience, and I'm pretty sure other people have their own way of like
Yeah.
doing things. They do whatever, and I want to hear about them as well. And it's really not that you don't really get to do that most of the time because
Yeah.
everyday life is just everybody's busy and you got stuff to do and whatever. So yeah, if I get a chance, definitely I feel like people relate to it, and I definitely relate to other people's things. And but I actually had an idea of like doing something like this just to invite a bunch of people,
You should. If you want to, you
like
should definitely do it.
like a retreat or something.
Yeah.
Just we're just gonna talk about art. We're gonna talk about experiences. We're gonna just inspire each other, and that's just like
We're
he wants
we're
it.
Art retreat. I just say, look, oh my God, Becky, this is the second time. You gotta be
you
careful.
know, it's funny that you say that. Because
Interesting.
we were actually thinking of going to Tori Dunes and getting every
Oh
people together in
yeah,
one spot and like
That's
try to
great.
get like
Yeah.
a big Airbnb and everyone kind of stays in one and we can just have fun, connect, shoot.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's super
We were
funny
kind
that
of.
you read my mind, Becky. Uh,
I'll be definitely down for that. But yeah, so that's the thing, because if we constantly try to do work, right? Like with our photography, constantly try to like, okay, let's do this. But you gotta like sometimes stop and get your like you gotta let your brain to like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna relax for a little bit and just get things in my mind, Like it's almost like, you gotta when a singer, they do this, like they work for years and then they release an album, and then for the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 years they don't release anything, right? Because they have that kind of, they need that time
hmm.
to work on a new album, to work on themselves, to do whatever. Like you definitely need that time.
Mm,
So and that would be a perfect opportunity because you can get together, you have fun, you talk, and then you get inspired and you're like, okay, let's do this next time. And that's like a beautiful way of like, it's kind of like a creative, I don't know,
You're like, give me
meeting.
your body and we'll get some paint
Yeah.
and we'll just.
And a real social, and a real human interaction, not just, social media stuff, which
yeah.
is,
And
Right, right.
that's a big thing also why I've really enjoyed these podcasts is because we
yeah,
we've seen each other, we've talked a little bit social media wise, but we've never got the chance to sit down and talk just because when we actually all
Right,
get together it's go 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 go, you know what I
right.
mean? And it's never actually sitting down and being able to have these one-on-one conversations. So that's, I think that's why I've enjoyed this so much.
Yeah,
oh,
This is super
yeah,
fun getting to know everyone and kind of their background and where how they got where they are right now. And it's super inspiring to me.
hell yeah.
You know, it makes me think and it makes me come with even more ideas, which I don't know if is a good thing sometimes because you gave me two great ideas now. Uh,
That's
don't steal my idea. No, I'm just joking.
no. You're gonna see flyers here in a couple days.
What was the first one? Wait, I forgot. I'm just like keep track of.
oh, our exhibit.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah, the exhibit.
right,
Yeah.
the exhibit. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So next he's gonna be Cruz is gonna be naked on a stage, and we're gonna be painting with his body here in a second.
You think that gets some money?
I think
Just
You think JP will do it?
I think JP would absolutely.
How much you think I gotta pay him to do it?
Nah, I think Flacco would do it.
Oh, Fucker would do it for free.
Yeah, he would do
He'd
it
be like,
for
I get attention by myself
free.
on a stage? Yes.
Right.
Oh, man. Too bad he's back in the
But
States. Miss you, guy.
yeah,
So where do you see yourself in the next kind of 5 years when it comes to art and photography and all that? Where, or at least where would you like to be in
Where
five
would I like
years?
to be? I'd still want to do my exhibits and my thing, my biggest, I don't know, I don't want to say biggest dream or whatever, but I really want to do an exhibit in New York. That's like my
Mm.
thing.
Woo!
I New York,
Mm.
I love New York. It's like, you
Same.
know, yeah, I just want to do that. And I actually told this to Alan because, Alan's from New York. And he's like, why New York? Why would you want to go to? And I'm like, no, I do. I want to do it. I want to do it. So that's like, yeah, um, I kind of want to do that. But yeah, I guess it's, what I want to do. I really want to get like a proper portfolio so that I can um because there's going to be another idea here for Justin, but so what there's like this thing where you can like master classes and stuff like people do, but you can also get your portfolio reviewed by like professional photographers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. You notice that whole page was full, right?
you know Oh my God. So
Oh
yes,
no.
yes, write it down. No, I'm not gonna, but no, seriously, you can get your portfolio reviewed by
Hmm.
professional photographers and they can, it's very nerdy maybe, but you can get they give you good feedback and they tell you, okay, this, and you can also like get a chance to like, oh, this person likes my work, and or it's kind of like being working at a gallery and meeting a bunch of other artists and stuff, so it really helps. So I want to do more of that. And I also want to do like photography competitions and stuff. Just want to you know give my
Ooh.
yeah, just want to put my work out there, just to see where I'm at and just to see if I can get better. And yeah, it's not really about I want to get more followers, or I want to like, it's not really about that, but mostly it's about I want to improve my my work.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to improve, yeah, I want to like kind of maybe learn a little bit more. It's because of my academic, background, but yeah, definitely want to do one of those portfolio things.
How do you
Actually,
even do
it's
that?
interesting.
Oh, sorry.
It's actually I was gonna say because I was just to touch in real quick, not to cut you off, but I just recently started getting into watching portfolio reviews on YouTube, and that's what one of the things that I respected, but scares me. That it scares the hell out of me because they're brutally honest.
Oh
But
yes.
That's what you need though. That's what you
yeah, and
need.
then that's
You know,
exactly that's why I said it's like
it might hurt my
great, but
feelings, but
scary.
like,
Right,
but like I thought
but
this was such a good picture, and you're telling me I'm
right.
terrible. Like,
It's like
damn.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't say that well, the ones that I've seen at least would they didn't go into like individual pictures, but they look at your whole portfolio and be like, okay, so what do you do? Kind of,
mm,
Yeah.
and they're like, wait, what? And then you're like, yeah, because it's like, yeah, you thought you were like a portfolio artist or something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, not portfolio, but
portrait.
a portrait, yeah, portrait artist. And then they're like, yeah, nah. This is they're like, no, because of this one, and this one. Okay, what is this then? They're like, yeah, it's a bunch of pretty girls, but and kind of stuff. But it's like, oh. But that's why I agree with Becky's point. I want to get into that too, like get it
Yeah.
reviewed by someone. That
Yeah.
way, yeah, have your portfolio peer reviewed,
Peer
and
reviewed,
then
yeah.
yeah.
And I was gonna say, because I'm used to that, because in academic world, when you put an article out there and then your article gets peer reviewed, they are brutal. I've seen people cry after getting their articles peer reviewed. Like people are,
That'd be
so
me
I'm used
after
to
my
that.
photo
You
review.
gotta be tough skinned. Yeah, you gotta be tough skinned. But yeah, this, I mean, it's just a good opportunity because those people, they most of the time they work as like the jury for big competitions like
Hmm.
PH Museum, for example. PH Museum has that, and they have like this jury from like different countries and different types of photographers and artists and whatever, and that jury gets together, but they're all professionals, and they've been doing that for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and they know they're in the business, they know what they're doing, they've been doing it for a long time, and just to get a couple of things from them, that's just it's very valuable, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Some info from them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think, I mean, that's a good way to look at it, especially if you're trying to do exhibits and you're trying to do
Yeah.
competitions. Like, that's what you need,
Right,
so you
Right.
know what you can get better at and practice at.
right,
And I think that's more of your, if you're trying to do things like that,
Mm.
rather than if you're just posting stuff on Instagram. I don't think
right.
you really
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
uh, that. So, but that is a good idea. I never thought of things. I didn't even know you could do that. To be completely
For sure.
honest, I had no idea that you could even do that. Um, but yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good kind of note to have and keep in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
especially when,
Just a peer reviewed.
yeah, when you want to do that or even start working with like brands and things like that.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that would be amazing.
Mm.
Don't want to keep you too long, but you want to open it up to chat?
Let's do. Do you have any advice for anyone new that's trying to get into uh
Mm.
photography or just someone interested in art in general? Do you have any advice for them?
Right. um I think they should not be afraid of telling the world who they are.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like, because art is all about, um, it's like 90% you, and then 10% is like other things that you, like your interactions with the world, with the external world.
Mm.
But 90% is like, it comes from within you, like it's just inner you. But most people confuse that with like, oh, I see this like pretty thing outside and I just want to do something like that, or um it's, I mean, we definitely like, when I say 10%, like it's a huge 10%, right? Because even you just go on a hike and then you just like to see this beautiful view of like mountain lakes and whatever, that you want to do that, right? You are inspired by that, that's like beautiful, that's whatever, that's like 10%, let's say. But it's seeing that, and then it's understanding what kind of feelings and emotions that view gives you,
Mhm.
and then you create. And I think a lot of people don't really look at themselves or just want to understand what kind of emotions and feelings they have. And I think the reason for that is most of the time they're afraid.
Mm. Yeah.
It's um
Bobby.
are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay.
I
Yeah,
was.
Oh,
I'm
I was like, wait,
What just
whoa.
happened? I was like, what happened?
screams. I was like, is it me? Okay, yeah, they're afraid.
Hmm.
That's okay. Now you
Mm,
guys are back. Okay. They're afraid of yeah, just to, because it's not easy. And but if you want to be a creative, if you want to do photography or paint or any type of art, basically, I think you need to be able to do that without being afraid. And
Hmm.
that would be my first, or maybe like, I don't know, that would be my advice to new people who want to like be an artist or a photographer. They should yeah, be not afraid of understanding who they are and what they like or what kind of person they are, um and also not afraid of showing that to the world, because art is a piece of you, basically,
Hmm.
so yeah.
I think that's really good advice. Honestly, I think fear stops a lot of stuff. Stops
yeah.
stops a lot. I think fear even starts you from even trying. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you can get over that fear to even try it, then it opens up a whole world of possibility for you.
Yeah.
If I can add a
Mhm.
point though, because it's I
Yeah.
think a fear and for it's like fear and I think your environment, because like speaking personally, like especially before I came out here, it was like you would be around the most toxic environment actually, and it's just everything around you just brought you down, kind of shit. So it
Yeah.
wouldn't even be fear. It's just like you don't want to do stuff because like you just know what people are gonna say, and it's like it oftentimes takes you getting out of that and just going somewhere else, removing yourself from situations too. That is also what you got to do sometimes, or just
Yeah.
realizing that you gotta.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super true. That's super true. And then once it's like those work hand in hand too, because once you surround yourself by the right people that are gonna support you, that fear just
Mm,
almost disappears.
right.
There really is no fear at that point because no matter what you
Right.
do, they're gonna have your back. They're gonna encourage you, um,
Right.
and it's gonna make you want to go harder. And
Hmm.
that's why we're here right now. I think I had
We have the
Yeah.
community, right?
yeah
Yeah, exactly.
yeah
Like
that's
having a
Yeah.
community is very important as
yeah.
artists, and yeah,
It's been
absolutely.
Yeah.
very like it's been a very big thing why we're even on this podcast and why we're even like I do photos.
Yeah.
It started with me, like you said, Fox, removing myself from those
Hmm.
people, and then as you said, getting over the fear of even trying it, and just
Yeah.
saying, you know what, I got someone that's gonna have my back and then just cheering me on, and I'm gonna pick up this camera, and it was up
Yeah.
from
Keep
there,
going.
and then
Yeah.
And now we're about to go see Becky's
yeah,
event.
I'm excited. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
I'm super excited
Thank
actually.
you
I'm gonna pull
guys. Thank you
the.
so
Well, we'll open up to chat now. If chat is watching, anyone that has any questions for Becky, feel
Let me
free.
check mine.
Um, I'm gonna pull up her Instagram, which also has a little bit about the event. What if?
What if?
What
Yes.
if? With some other great artists over in the F16 gallery in Osaka.
16. Yep.
Um, April 2nd to the 7th. So if you guys are in the area, please, please, please come show support. I know they're gonna have some amazing work. I'm excited. We'll be
Yeah.
there
Yay.
Friday to Sunday. So I don't think we
And the,
actually figured out an exact date for the walk, did we?
yeah, we'll talk about it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'll be over there next weekend. You guys should be over there next weekend if you're watching.
Yeah.
Just come show support. See something new.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm hyped. I'm
Oh yeah.
hyped. And yeah, and there's her Instagram, so make sure you guys give her a follow. Amazing work, amazing artist. I do have
Mhm.
to ask this. Uh, was it recent? Yeah, it was recent. The
Mhm.
one with it's Isabella, right?
Oh yeah.
Can you tell the story behind it? Cause now I'm actually curious why we wait for chat.
Are you talking about the tree?
Yeah, the tree and the two.
Yeah, the two. That's double exposure.
Hmm. Is
Yeah.
there a
Oh.
certain meaning behind it?
Layering. I actually did that shoot for Dawn magazine. So Dawn magazine is like
Oh, I know Dawn.
yeah,
Yeah.
Osaka-based magazine of my friend Mike and Yana. They're great,
Yana.
great
Yeah.
people. Yeah, they're both amazing photographer, amazing artists, amazing. Well, Mike's a photographer, Yana's a photographer too, but she's also an artist, and they're both like yeah, really great. And they've been doing Dawn for a year and a half now, I guess, or maybe longer. I'm not sure, but so yeah, I they always so Dawn magazine does they always have a theme for each issue, and that was I guess for Ritual, maybe issue number 7 or 8,
Mm.
and I had this kind of we already had a theme, and Isabella and I we went to a park and we did a shoot of like kind of this witch kind of inspired
Mm.
dark a little bit kind of I guess strong woman kind of thing. But I also like initially I didn't do double exposure,
Mm.
but the beautiful thing about Fuji is that you can do in-camera double exposure, which is amazing.
Damn.
And I
What?
love it. And you can also do film simulation. So you can take black and white pictures, and there's also recipes that you can use that can completely, it's like you don't have to edit. All the editing, you can do it on the camera, which I love.
What?
So,
Fuji's, yeah, that's the Bentley. That's the
yeah.
Bentley.
So that's what I did. I did a couple of shots of double exposure, a couple of shots with like film simulation, and I have a couple of recipes. And I'm just like, these are like, I'm not gonna, you know, submit them for Dawn magazine.
Hmm.
But I kept them, and then I'm like, and I realized, oh, this is actually pretty good. So yeah, that's actually from there.
If anyone wants to know what to get me for my birthday, it'll be a Fuji film camera.
Yeah,
Just want to put that
it's
out
a,
there if anyone cares.
it's just like 2 grand for the
Yeah,
body alone.
yeah,
Whatever.
just a little slight 2 grand. Come on, guys.
Just like pocket money, you know.
Yeah, if we all put money together, we can do it.
Yeah, if you scroll down, there's the single exposure version down further
Yeah,
down. Yeah,
right.
yeah. All these pictures are. It's just yeah, it's amazing. I like this. Love this one with the this white one with the uh. It's like one half of it's black and white. It looks like. Oh no, it just looks like that
I really like how you showed
from the
Singapore
Doodle
off.
series.
Which one is that? Singapore.
Yeah, I like the Singapore ones. Those are really cool.
It's a beautiful place, guys. You gotta go.
Hopefully this year I go,
So
so I can
cool.
see it. We'll see. Yeah,
Very picturesque.
crazy work.
What made you decide to shave your head?
Ooh,
'Cause I'm looking at this one was that you have like I didn't even think it was you at first, and I was like, oh wait, that is you.
that's me. That was last year.
Oh really? This is
Yeah.
like a recent thing. Okay.
Yeah. That was, well, let's just say I had to shave my head.
Oh okay, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I
Um, for
mean,
my
either way, it looks good.
treatment.
Say what?
For my treatment.
Oh shit. Either way, it
It's
looks
all
good.
good now. It's all
Yeah.
good now. Don't worry.
Good,
It's
good,
fine.
good, good, good.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, I say it just asking. It wasn't,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I used
yeah,
to be like I had so this is such a yeah, I had like another account until like I guess 2000, yeah, summer of 2023, and it got hacked.
Oh
And
damn.
I completely lost. I had like 4,000 something followers
Hmm.
and everything. They're all gone. My account gone. And it was verified as well. It was horrible. And so yeah, and that was like just completely like very professional. I didn't post any like personal photos there.
Hmm.
But then I started this one, and gradually and I just like kind of realized, it's I don't care. I'm just gonna post some personal stuff
Hmm.
into some of my work. But yeah. And also it made me realize digital things are never you can never trust them because they go like that, because
Yeah.
not you don't own it literally. Like you have an Instagram page. Do you really own it? I
Mm.
don't think so.
No,
It's
not really.
yeah. That's what I realized after it got hacked because I tried everything. Like I tried everything to get it back. Nope.
Hmm. That sucks.
I know.
I hate people. For anyone that just joined, we open questions up for Becky. If you have
yeah. I got a
anything.
couple people just joined up watching
Yeah,
now,
me
but
too.
yeah, sorry guys.
Um,
But
Feel free to ask away. I'm also gonna just keep your Instagram up. That way you guys can go show some love.
can you explain this finger one? What is it?
Finger.
Fingers or is it like?
Oh, yeah. What?
which fingers?
It's like one of the
Share your
more
screen.
recent ones.
Or do you want me to share my screen?
One second. I got it. I got you. Got you.
Ooh,
Boom.
okay. I think I know which one you're talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is okay. So this is a type of I did this actually using an app called After Image.
Mm,
So basically I layered, well, I guess it's three or four different, well, these are the same photos that I layered on the app, but I layered them from different angles.
mm,
And then it turned into like this. But I did this shoot with four hands basically because the model's hands and also extra like two extra hands.
Hmm.
mm.
And so there were a bunch of fingers because of that. But sometimes, yeah, you just have this like beautiful result. And like I said, I really like surreal art. So
That's surreal is the word actually. It's
yeah,
like,
when I
whoa.
do something like that, I mean, it was, yeah, this one was an app.
That's crazy.
Still.
Mm,
Oh, you did with Katarina.
that is Cat. Yeah,
Katrina.
that's Katrina. Yeah. I always ask them. I always like, cause she's used to me by now. She's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, like, cause she knows that I'm gonna. I used to ask her to like, she would be like, what kind of, what do you want me to do with my face? Do you want me to look at a camera? Do you want me to smile? And I would be like, just pretend that you're dead. And she'll be like, okay, fine. I don't know how to do that, but fine. So yeah, she's used to it.
I like that one, the one with the lights. Left. Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh yeah, this was for, yeah, so we have a local community theater group here called Theater Iridescence,
Mm.
and um beautiful Aya, she is the owner of Theater Iridescence, and she asked me to do a promo shoot for her, both for her theater company and for her new play. And we got Isabella, Raquel, and Mona. Beautiful. It's like a woman-run, theater company, and
Mhm.
her kind of she's very focused on diversity and so strong women and all that. So we did that shoot, and that was in a studio. Yeah,
Yeah, that's super
Mm,
cool.
uh, not top notch studio. That was a beautiful day. Yeah, it was a beautiful shoot.
Dave's comment. Man.
Did Dave's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
looking
like
So
at
you're
these
the
supposed to
researching that
from
new
Netflix.
her
sequel.
new Netflix series. Dave is funny. I
That
love
does.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave's awesome. It's,
That's kind of yes. Yeah.
Luca. A version of that picture is gonna be at the exhibition.
Really.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
you guys are gonna see it. Mm.
David Lynch.
David Lynch. Love David Lynch. Yeah. And a
So
bunch of like
cool.
book recommendations over there, as you can see.
Yeah.
Because I read a lot and I'm like, yeah, here you go,
I wish I
books.
had the patience to read. I can't.
What?
I open up a book and I get tired. You know what I mean? Like I'm terrible. I'm so bad when it's like you put it in front of my face, open the first page and I'm already yawning.
Oh
Like
man, that's clicked up. He said words on pages? What?
uh
With ink?
hard.
What do you
Hard.
mean?
Wait, are we supposed to read this?
I know.
a lot of, there's a lot of pages here.
So where's the audio button at?
Yo,
Oh
there's
God,
there's
you're such
been
a Gen Z. I love
there's been phases where I'm like I really want to start reading, but I don't want to read. I'll start listening to audiobooks and I still fall asleep. I'm so bad. I'm so
Where our
bad.
brains are losing all the time. It's
Oh God.
Yeah.
want.
I'm like the
Yeah.
worst.
It's
People are like,
interesting.
"Yeah, I enjoy reading." I'm like, "You need an award. 'Cause that shit is hard."
Oh my God.
uh,
That's
Oh
shots
my
over
god.
there. Yeah. Oh, this is yeah. This was from another performance art show called Grief.
Mm,
So this was about the seven, no, not seven, five stages of grief, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
So did you have multiple models, or was it just you?
It was just me, and it was live on, yeah, on stage, and people were, yeah, trying to. Well, I kind of let people to like, okay, so these are five, according to this psychology, these are the five stages of grief, and what does each stage mean to you in a way, and again, I asked them to like, okay, you can use me to kind of express that.
Hmm.
And that's what they did. It was interesting. Yeah.
mhm.
Oh God.
Oh,
And
that's
now I'm
cool.
looking at my Instagram and it's so like, wow.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I do. Oh yeah, and
No,
I do. Yeah. So do you see the girl? No, the one, the colorful one,
Colorful.
and her
no.
face. Well, this is me.
Wrong
Don't look
colorful
at
one.
that. Don't look at
I
that.
gotta edit this
Why?
out.
What?
I gotta edit this out.
Why? Why? There's nothing. You don't see anything. Why?
That was that's I don't even know why I posted that.
Oh.
But yeah, that's the one that I'm talking about. So I sometimes so okay, one of the first the I actually mentioned it. The first exhibition that I did at that university that I mentioned. Um I for each photo that well I had seven work I think that I displayed and I painted all of them.
Hmm.
And so I printed and I painted, and I really liked the kind of combination of like photography and art. So sometimes I doodle on my photos like that because I feel like it
Wow.
just gives some sort of like it makes it more kind of, I don't know, it puts it into a little different place, it's almost
Right.
like cartoonish and yeah. So this was like these were not in that exhibition, but I sometimes doodle on my photos like this.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's strange, but yeah, I do that sometimes.
Not at all. It's
Yeah,
creative.
yeah, it's definitely creative.
I was gonna ask if this was actually her hand, but
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
clearly it's.
yeah, it's not.
hands hands are like my thing. Yeah, I'm obsessed with hands. I feel like hands like really tell a lot of stories. So I have a bunch of hands in my I have one here actually because I used it in a recent shoot. It's creepy, I know, but
Just like, yeah.
I,
Like,
I
Becky, whose hand is this?
oh
Hold on, I'm
God.
trying to find the. I guess it was farther down than I thought it was. Your uh
Hmm.
when you were being used as a
Oh
paintbrush.
yeah, I think could be.
Damn, I didn't realize it was that. Yeah, I was like stalking you for a little bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I really like this one too.
Mm.
Yeah. And I model sometimes, yeah, for other. This is Francis. Francis did the shoot. So Francis and I, we both love horror movies. We're like obsessed with scary stories and horror stories, whatever. And we both have like kind of this dark, you know, kind of, I don't know, we like dark stuff. So he was like, okay, let's just like do the shoot where your face is completely gone. And so the thing, and you probably realize that I don't really like to, before actually for a long time I never posted like, or I never showed the models faces, because when you see someone's face, right, that's the first thing they're gonna look at. So um and if depending on that person's expression on their face, that's gonna take the whole like attention when people look at the photo. And most of the time I didn't want that because I want to tell a story with my photos, right? So I thought that, oh, if they're gonna see the pic, that they're gonna see the face, that they're not gonna get the story or the message. So I always covered the faces just like that.
Hmm.
And but yeah, and then I kind of, completely
I like
focused
that
on,
I like that
yeah.
idea a lot.
And that's why you can see a lot of, and I love this like distortions, like distorted face or blurry face or reflections and mirrored images or masks because I feel like
Hmm.
that they don't really get a lot. And
Yeah.
that's, yeah, one of my self-portraits. That's one of my favorites actually. Oh, this is a real, okay. I
Uh,
completely forgot.
uh,
Mm.
Super cool.
yeah, where was that? Sure, I really like this for some reason.
The
Yeah, I
light,
sometimes
the
I really
light.
like faces a lot.
Yeah, liminal spaces.
Yeah.
Uh, where was it?
This
Oh,
one,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
the one that you're talking about, right?
I was like, yo, what? And then I saw this one with your,
Mm.
you're on here. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could not imagine. Yeah, and I saw this one. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like,
So you see, like people didn't really, this was maybe halfway through. People just did like my face, my arms, or whatever. And after that, they start to do more like kind of, oh, okay, now I guess I can touch your boobs now, or I can touch your butt now. So like and this was the end result. So I
mm,
don't know, like it's interesting. It's like one of those ink, what is that called? The
ink
ink
blot
blot.
tests, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. I mean, I felt like an hour and a half was not enough, but I
Hmm.
also didn't want to go on like longer
Mm-hmm.
because they were very shy at first. They didn't want to, so all these like handprints and the feet prints, it was all started like that. They didn't want to do more than that. But then they start to feel like, okay, I actually, I can create some sort of like an art. And as you can see, like on top, there's like some things that are like kind of symmetrical. They try to have this like big smudgy thing, but nobody was allowed to touch on or nothing where they couldn't touch on the canvas with anything other than my body. So
Mm.
everything that you see over there, they're all done by part of my body.
Did people like pick you up?
Yeah, they can exactly. Yep, they
Yeah.
did. They did as well. And these were my, yeah. So we had like a little we have a creative collective, but that's Jessica and Sophie, but they don't live in Japan anymore, they left.
Hmm.
But we have like this kind of because they were, so Sophia, the one on the left, she is a costume designer,
Hmm.
and
Mm.
Jessica, the one on the right, she is theater. She's an actress. So we all had this, and I was like the photographer and artist. So we had like this little collective community, and it was really nice. We did a lot of events and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, they're all back in the UK and in America, so I miss them.
Yeah, yeah, that was a
Yeah,
really
it
cool
was a beautiful event. Yeah, it was very interesting. And yeah, so I actually started with self-portraits. I did a lot of self-portraits. I really enjoy doing self-portraits.
Mhm.
Um, these are so old.
Looks reminds me of the Resident Evil nurses.
Yeah.
That's
Mm. This is
crazy.
from Aurora. Yeah, this was a group studio shoot that we did with Joshua and Sophia, um, with 10 models. It was really good. And we
Wow.
had like the gallery the studio that we rented, it had a tank, a water tank.
I
So
saw
we
the
did
behind the
underwater.
scenes. Yeah, I saw behind the scenes on Joshua's
Yeah.
Instagram, which was
Mm.
super cool.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I wish I could get a tank, a water tank, and
Where
It's
do I get
it's
one
a
of those at?
it's difficult. I mean, it's because it has to be huge
mm,
Hmm.
so that people can go in and
right.
you know. And it takes like an hour for the entire tank to fill. So we had to like go early and get the tank early. It was pretty good though.
You just knew someone that had a tank like that?
No, we found a gallery like that with a tank. I was like, so Joshua and I were looking for a gallery, and then we realized like, oh, okay, there's this one over there, but it's slightly expensive. I wonder why. So we looked, and inside the gallery there was a huge tank, and it was a bit pricey. But we're like, okay, I'm not. We have to get that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not. If there's an opportunity where I can do a underwater shoot, yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. So yeah, you
Hell
can
yeah.
definitely find galleries, I think, with water tanks. Yeah.
And they just allow you to go in there and shoot.
Yeah, you can rent it. Yep. With
Fox,
I
do you
remember,
know
I
what I'm
think we
thinking?
paid 90,000 or something
An hour, or for how long?
for 5 hours or so. I think
Woo,
maybe a bit longer. Yeah.
woo.
Yep. But
For
it was
those
pretty. It was
that don't
pretty.
know, yen,
The
that's
price,
like $800.
eight hundred bucks. Yeah, about
Yeah.
But
God,
I mean, it was a like collaborative thing. All the
Yeah.
artists, models, everybody like chipped in, and it was
that's
like
good.
pretty. It was pretty good.
It's cool though.
That's good at least. Um,
Mm.
but
I don't see any questions
like
from my side.
same here.
So
But
yeah, we'll wrap it up. Can you scroll up for me,
yeah,
just for a
yeah,
username? Thank you. For all those watching, make sure you give Becky a follow. Huge thanks to you. Honestly, I really appreciate you coming on. And
Thank you.
sharing so much with us. Honestly, some great advice, some
absolutely.
different take too. It was a different take on photography for us today, and it was super cool to see. Um, yeah, I learned a lot.
Yes, I am.
Thank you guys. Thanks
I
for
got
having.
some good notes, and you're gonna make me stress Fox out now.
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely. I want to. We'll talk about the exhibit. I'm down. I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll be something like soon because I'll be going, but definitely when I get back in late November, I would love to work
Okay.
with you on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sure.
Not
Yeah, that'd be
try.
I'm
cool.
always down.
Mm.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. Like I said, make sure you show some love. And if you're in the Osaka area, scroll down for me. Scroll down, Fox. Scroll down a little bit.
Hold up.
Click that.
Uh,
Yeah. Make sure you guys go and show up to our exhibit. Super excited to be a part of that and be able to join you and see your amazing work.
yes, April
Thank
2nd
you.
to the 7th.
Yeah.
And where's this gallery studio?
And
And you said Namba?
yeah, it's really close to
Cool.
the what's that place? American Mura or something?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
Shinsaibashi. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
We're always
sorry,
over
sorry.
there,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Next to
place.
Amemuro F16 Gallery, you
Hmm.
guys. F16 Gallery from April 2nd to the 7th. Yeah, go
Cool.
check it out. What if?
What if? Yeah, I'm excited.
Mm.
Definitely. Make sure you follow social medias because when we're there, we're gonna be posting it. If you're tired of it, and I'm sorry, but
You
we're
see it?
blowing up the Instagram with the gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
My
fun.
height.
Of course, of course. Other than that, do you have anything you would like to share before we get off?
Um, Nothing really. Yeah, just this. Yeah, just keep creating, keep supporting each other, and just I want to say, I think, like we're all in this, like we're all kind of, we all want to have a community, right? Like we talked about how it's so important to have like support, so important to have a community, it's so important to have like an environment where we feel comfortable enough to like share a part of ourselves, right? I feel like that's very important, and I feel like there's gonna be some time where we'll be like, okay, we can't really, I don't vibe with this person, or we have like some problems or whatever. But I feel like um we should just spread love and not anything else, like just never, I don't think people should forget that nobody's perfect, everybody's trying hard to do their best and just spread love and keep creating. I think as long as we have that, and as long as we feel comfortable enough to like to put ourselves out there, I think everything is gonna be. I mean, art world is will be amazing. I feel like that sometimes like it stops people from doing what they want to do if they don't feel comfortable, if they feel like, oh, I have people that are hating on me or my work or whatever. I don't think we should do that. So that's just what I want to say, especially in Japan. Like we are kind of like a small community because we're expats, and I think we should be more loving and understanding towards each other, and that's just what I want to say before I go. Is that okay?
Very well said. Very well said. Very well said.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
All
can.
facts, guys.
Yeah.
All facts, guys. Lead with love.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Cool.
Well, that's it. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was really fun talking to you
Of
all.
course, I enjoyed
And
it a lot.
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
thank you.
Of course. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for always supporting. And yeah,
Thank you, Becky.
thank you.
Thank you. Good night,
And
Good
guys.
night.
night.
See you soon. Yeah. Take care.
You too. You
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
All right.
Bye bye.
See you guys. We'll be back Wednesday. Guest? I don't think I have a solid guest for Wednesday yet. Surprise! We're gonna have a surprise. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We ain't gonna
Yeah.
leave you guys hanging.
Yeah, we're not gonna leave you guys hanging, but make sure you follow the socials. That way, you know, once I text someone, I didn't do nothing today.
Okay.
I did nothing.
Cool.
But all right. See ya.
All right, guys.